In a world fraught with chaos, where tempestuous emotions and formidable challenges assail us from every direction, the ancient wisdom of Stoicism makes a resounding and defiant comeback. This venerable philosophy imparts to us a truly liberating revelation. Sometimes, to achieve genuine growth in self-actualization, we must summon the courage to sever the ties that bind us to certain relationships, even those that involve the sacred bonds of family or the cherished connections of friendship. Yet this is not a clarion call to retreat into the depths of isolation, but rather an invitation to embrace authenticity and to attain the serenity of inner peace. Today we shall delve into 11 unmistakable signs that the time has come to cut ties with those who no longer serve our highest good. So I implore you to make yourself comfortable, to quiet your mind and open your heart, so that you may fully absorb the profound insights that follow. Let us embark on this transformative journey together. 1. When relationships become the very shackles that hinder your personal growth and evolution, it is time to heed the profound message left to us by the great Stoic philosopher Seneca. Friendship that can end never really began. This poignant quote compels us to ponder the very essence of true friendship and the unconditional love of family. In an ideal world, these sacred bonds should serve as the unwavering pillars that sustain us and guide us in our relentless pursuit of wisdom and virtue. However, it is of paramount importance to cultivate an acute awareness that at times the relationships we cling to may ultimately divert us from our destined path of growth and self-discovery. When the realization dawns upon us that our emotional bonds are inexorably pulling us away from our true calling, it becomes imperative to engage in deep and sincere introspection. This is a pivotal moment to question and reevaluate the very fabric of these connections. The process of reassessment is by no means a simple or painless one. It demands unflinching introspection and often requires us to summon the courage to make difficult, even heart-wrenching decisions. It may become necessary to reconsider long-standing bonds, to question the very ties of family, or even to distance ourselves from friendships that, instead of contributing to our enrichment and growth, serve only to drag us down into the mire of stagnation and despair. This is a profound process of self-discovery and, above all, of learning to cherish and appreciate our own worth and potential. The crux of the matter lies in understanding that our personal growth is inextricably linked to the people we choose to share our journey with. Healthy and constructive relationships are those that inspire us to be our best selves, that challenge us in positive ways, and most importantly, that respect our very essence and honor our life goals. So when we find ourselves enmeshed in relationships that seem to obstruct our progress and stifle our spirit, it is essential to call upon the wisdom of Seneca. We must actively seek out genuine relationships, those that can withstand the relentless test of time and the tempests of adversity, those that support us in our noble quest for wisdom, and, most critically, those that walk alongside us on the path toward virtue and enlightenment. This is a path replete with revelations, challenges, and often necessary renewals, but it is a path that leads us ever closer to our true selves and our ultimate potential. Here is the paragraph rewritten in richer, more diverse language while maintaining the original content and numbering. 4. When the scales of a relationship tip heavily toward harm rather than good, it becomes imperative to emphasize the paramount importance of inner well-being in each individual's unique journey through life. Toxic relationships, those insidious bonds that relentlessly drain our energy, inflict constant emotional distress, and engulf us in a miasma of negativity, stand in stark opposition to the noble pursuits of personal growth and self-actualization. In the face of such a dire scenario, it is crucial to cultivate a keen understanding that the unrelenting presence of tension, the festering of unresolved conflicts, the erosion of mutual respect, and the glaring absence of emotional support are all unmistakable indicators of a relationship that has veered into the treacherous territory of toxicity. These corrosive dynamics not only erect formidable barriers to personal flourishing, but can also precipitate a devastating decline in both mental and physical health. The insidious nature of toxicity in a relationship often lies in its ability to manifest in subtle, almost imperceptible ways, such as the steady drip of constant criticism, the withering absence of empathy, the manipulative machinations of a controlling partner, or even the soul-crushing weight of emotional abuse. These situations ensnare us in a vicious cycle of negativity, leaving us feeling trapped and powerless to make any meaningful progress in our personal or professional lives. The relentless pursuit of inner well-being demands an environment that nurtures positivity, fosters mutual support, upholds the principles of respect, and above all, actively promotes the cultivation of robust mental and emotional health. When a relationship devolves into an impediment to the attainment of these essential aspects of well-being, it serves as a resounding clarion call that change is not merely desirable, but absolutely necessary. The act of making the decision to extricate oneself from the toxic entanglements of a harmful relationship is a profound demonstration of self-care and an affirmation of one's inherent worth and dignity. Although the choice to sever these ties may be fraught with difficulty and accompanied by a tempest of emotions, ranging from guilt to fear, it remains an essential step in creating the space for healthy, constructive relationships that genuinely contribute to our growth and overall well-being. The process of disengaging from a harmful relationship also presents an invaluable opportunity for deep introspection and transformative learning. It is a time to fortify our self-esteem, to reaffirm the values and priorities that define us, and to gain a more profound understanding of the types of relationships that will positively shape and enrich our journey through life. Therefore, it is of utmost importance to remain ever vigilant for the telltale signs of a toxic relationship and to summon the courage to actively seek change when the need arises. After all, the unwavering pursuit of inner well-being and personal growth should be the guiding light in our lives, and the relationships we nurture play an indispensable role in this transformative process. 5. The issue of mutual respect in interpersonal relationships is a matter of paramount importance, especially when viewed through the lens of Stoic principles that place a high value on personal dignity, self-control, and the inherent worth of every individual. Relationships that are devoid of mutual respect stand in direct opposition to these cherished values and can give rise to an environment plagued by misunderstanding, devaluation, and unrelenting tension. Respect serves as the bedrock upon which the edifice of healthy relationships is built. It encompasses a genuine appreciation for the differences that make each person unique, the willingness to listen attentively and strive to understand another's perspective, and the consistent practice of empathy and consideration in all interactions. In the absence of respect, communication begins to break down, conflicts escalate and intensify, and the delicate threads of harmony that hold a relationship together start to unravel. A relationship bereft of mutual respect often rears its ugly head in the form of disdain, destructive criticism, a callous disregard for the needs and feelings of the other, and even the specter of abusive behavior. These toxic attitudes not only erode the very foundation of the relationship, but also inflict deep wounds upon the self-esteem and emotional well-being of the individuals ensnared in this destructive dynamic. The timeless teachings of Stoicism serve as a beacon of wisdom, reminding us of the paramount importance of maintaining our dignity and exercising self-control in all our interactions. This noble philosophy implores us to treat others with the same consideration and respect that we ourselves yearn for. When a relationship is devoid of this fundamental element, it morphs into a distorted and harmful entity. Faced with a dynamic characterized by an absence of mutual respect, it becomes imperative to take a step back and evaluate the relationship with unflinching honesty, carefully considering the necessary changes required to restore a healthy balance. This process of restoration may involve engaging in open and candid dialogue, setting clear and unambiguous boundaries, and, in some cases, making the difficult decision to distance oneself from the toxic situation, especially if the pattern of disrespect proves to be a recurring and irreparable one. Recognizing the lack of respect in a relationship and taking proactive steps to address it or extricate oneself from its poisonous grip is an essential step in preserving one's own dignity and safeguarding one's mental health. Ultimately, the act of consciously choosing relationships that are built upon the bedrock of mutual respect is a powerful affirmation of one's self-worth and a commitment to personal growth, perfectly aligned with the Stoic ideals of dignity and self-control. 6. The Stoic approach places a strong emphasis on the acceptance of reality as it is, a concept that holds profound relevance in the realm of interpersonal relationships. Relationships that keep us tethered to the illusory or promote a denial of reality are not only counterproductive, but can also inflict grave harm upon our psyche. In the world of Stoic philosophy, the acceptance of reality does not imply a passive resignation or a fatalistic acceptance of one's lot in life. Rather, it calls for a clear-eyed and objective understanding of the world as it truly is, unencumbered by false expectations or the rose-tinted lens of idealization. When we apply this principle to the intricate tapestry of our relationships, it becomes abundantly clear that maintaining bonds that are founded upon illusions or a willful denial of facts prevents us from living an authentic and truthful existence. Relationships that encourage us to turn a blind eye to the truth, whether through the weaving of elaborate fantasies, the constant making of excuses for unacceptable behavior, or the creation of an alternative reality, serve only to distance us from a genuine understanding of ourselves and those around us. This detachment from reality can lead us down a treacherous path, causing us to ignore serious issues, make decisions based on distorted perceptions, and exist in a state of constant disillusionment. Relationships of this nature are often characterized by a litany of unfulfilled promises, unrealistic expectations, or even a stubborn refusal to acknowledge problems that are glaringly obvious to all but those enmeshed in the illusion. These situations create a fertile breeding ground for frustration and dissatisfaction, as we find ourselves perpetually seeking something that is fundamentally misaligned with the reality of our circumstances. Confronting the truth in a relationship can be an immensely challenging undertaking, especially when it necessitates the painful process of dismantling illusions to which we have become deeply attached. However, this process of facing reality head-on is an essential step in our personal development and a prerequisite for building healthier, more grounded relationships. The Stoics encourage us to embrace reality in all its forms, to grapple with situations as they truly are, and to seek serenity within the confines of that understanding. Therefore, it is of utmost importance to remain vigilant for the telltale signs that a relationship is built upon the shifting sands of illusion rather than the solid foundation of reality. By recognizing and distancing ourselves from such dynamics, we embark upon a transformative journey of rediscovery, charting a course towards a more authentic and fulfilling life, one that is in perfect harmony with the Stoic principles of acceptance and a clear-eyed understanding of reality. 7. Living in alignment with one's own values lies at the very heart of Stoicism, serving as a cornerstone for a life imbued with meaning and fulfillment. When we find ourselves enmeshed in relationships that compel us to compromise or betray our core values, we are confronted with a profound dilemma that demands careful reflection and a thorough reassessment of our circumstances. Personal values serve as an internal compass, guiding our every decision, action, and interaction with the world around us. They are a reflection of our deepest beliefs, a testament to what we hold sacred and true. When a relationship demands that we abandon or ignore these cherished values, it not only compromises our personal integrity, but can also give rise to a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction and unease. A relationship that requires the betrayal of one's values can manifest in myriad ways. It may involve being pressured to act in a manner that runs counter to what we believe is right, to tolerate behaviors that we find utterly unacceptable, or even to sacrifice essential aspects of our very identity. These concessions may seem innocuous at first, but over time they accumulate, exerting a tremendous weight upon our self-esteem and eroding our sense of self-respect. The timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy illuminates the paramount importance of living in harmony with our values, of aligning our actions and choices with the principles that define the very essence of who we are. This noble pursuit calls upon us to summon the courage to make difficult choices, to extricate ourselves from situations that threaten to divert us from our true path, and to actively seek out relationships that respect and reflect our most fundamental beliefs. Reassessing a relationship through the lens of how it aligns with our cherished values is no easy feat. It is a process that may give rise to internal conflicts, tug at our heartstrings with feelings of loyalty, or fill us with the fear of loneliness and the uncertainty of change. However, remaining steadfast in our commitment to our values is an essential pillar of our mental and emotional well-being, a powerful testament to our self-respect and authenticity. Therefore, it is of utmost importance to cultivate a keen awareness of how our relationships influence and reflect our values. When we come to the sobering realization that we are compromising our core principles, we must engage in serious introspection, asking ourselves whether this relationship truly serves our personal growth and contributes to our overall well-being. Choosing paths that align with our values is not merely a Stoic principle. It is a vital step towards living a life of unparalleled authenticity and profound fulfillment. 8. Reciprocity is the lifeblood of any healthy and sustainable relationship, a delicate balance that ensures the vitality and longevity of the connection between two individuals. When this equilibrium is disrupted and one party finds themselves perpetually giving while the other remains forever on the receiving end, a toxic dynamic of inequality takes root, one that can prove immensely harmful and ultimately unsustainable in the long run. Balanced relationships are characterized by a harmonious exchange, a dance of mutual contribution and receipt that, while not always exact or immediate, is imbued with a pervasive sense of fairness and equitability. When one side is relegated to the role of the eternal giver, while the other remains firmly entrenched in the position of the receiver, an insidious imbalance emerges, one that can sow the seeds of resentment, breed exhaustion, and erode the very foundation of the relationship. This type of one-sided arrangement can manifest in myriad forms, whether in the emotional realm, where one person consistently shoulders the burden of providing support, while the other rarely reciprocates, or in the practical aspects of daily life, such as the division of tasks and the making of critical decisions. When this imbalance becomes the norm rather than the exception, the relationship ceases to be a true partnership and instead devolves into a burdensome weight that one party must bear alone. It is imperative to recognize the telltale signs of a non-reciprocal relationship and address the issue head-on. This may involve engaging in candid conversations about needs and expectations, redefining boundaries and responsibilities, and in some cases, taking a hard look at the long-term viability of the relationship. In this context, it is crucial to remember that our self-respect and self-esteem are also at stake. Allowing ourselves to be perpetually cast in the role of the giver without receiving the value and consideration we deserve can slowly chip away at our own sense of worth. Thus, seeking balance in a relationship is not only a matter of fairness, but also an act of self-care, a way of honoring our own needs and preserving our emotional well-being. Therefore, to cultivate healthy and enriching relationships, we must actively seek reciprocity, striving for connections that are built upon a foundation of balance and mutual respect. These are the types of relationships that promote growth, foster a deep sense of satisfaction, and contribute to the overall well-being of both parties involved. By focusing our energy on nurturing such balanced connections, we not only enhance our own lives, but also create a positive ripple effect that touches the lives of those we hold dear. 9. In the realm of interpersonal relationships, abuse in any of its insidious forms is an absolute anathema, a violation of the most basic tenets of human decency and respect. Stoic wisdom, with its unwavering emphasis on the importance of self-respect and personal dignity, stands as a beacon of clarity, guiding us to never tolerate abusive or harmful behaviors, regardless of their source or context. Abuse can rear its ugly head in a multitude of ways, from the physical to the emotional, the verbal to the psychological, and even the financial. No matter the form it takes, the impact of abuse is invariably profound and far-reaching, leaving deep scars on the mental, physical, and emotional well-being of those who find themselves trapped in its vicious cycle. Abusive relationships are characterized by a toxic pattern of control, intimidation, isolation, and fear, a suffocating web that slowly erodes the victim's sense of self and autonomy. Stoic philosophy, in its infinite wisdom, teaches us to value and respect ourselves above all else, to recognize our intrinsic worth and never accept treatment that compromises our integrity or diminishes our humanity. To be in an abusive relationship is to exist in an environment that constantly devalues and dehumanizes us, a scenario that stands in stark contrast to the virtuous and dignified life envisioned by the Stoics. Recognizing that one is in an abusive relationship is the first and most critical step in seeking help and effecting change. It is essential to understand that abuse is never justifiable, and the responsibility for the abuse lies squarely on the shoulders of the abuser, never the victim. Seeking support, whether from trusted friends, family members, or trained professionals, is a crucial component of breaking free from the cycle of abuse and reclaiming one's life. Leaving an abusive relationship is an act of immense courage, a journey that requires strength, determination, and unwavering support. It is a vital step towards regaining one's self-esteem, self-respect, and the freedom to live a life unburdened by fear and oppression. The path to recovery from an abusive relationship is also a journey of reaffirming one's own worth and inner strength, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of self-love. Therefore, it is of paramount importance to remain vigilant and attuned to the telltale signs of abuse, and to take swift and decisive action to protect oneself from its devastating effects. Aligning oneself with the Stoic teachings of self-worth and self-respect is a crucial component of this journey, a guiding light that illuminates the path to healing and empowerment. Living a life of dignity and respect, free from the shackles of abuse, is not merely a lofty ideal, but a fundamental right that every human being deserves. 10. Effective communication is the lifeblood of any healthy relationship, the very foundation upon which trust, understanding, and harmony are built. When we find ourselves mired in situations where communication consistently fails, whether due to a one-sided dynamic or an endless cycle of conflict, we face a formidable obstacle to achieving the mutual understanding and balance that Stoic philosophy holds in such high regard. In a relationship plagued by deficient communication, misunderstandings, frustrations, and resentments fester like untreated wounds, slowly eroding the very fabric of the connection. One-sided communication, where one party dominates the conversation or fails to create space for the other to express themselves fully, gives rise to a toxic imbalance that undermines the health and vitality of the relationship. Similarly, communication that is perpetually mired in conflict, where finding common ground seems an insurmountable task, can leave both parties feeling drained, exhausted, and emotionally depleted. The Stoics place great value on harmony and balance, both within oneself and in one's relationships with others. They advocate for the pursuit of understanding through peaceful dialogue, the avoidance of unnecessary conflicts, and the cultivation of an environment steeped in mutual respect. Effective communication is the key that unlocks the door to these noble goals, the very essence of what it means to forge meaningful connections with those around us. To enhance communication in a relationship, it is essential to cultivate the art of active listening, to express oneself with clarity and respect, and to remain open to dialogue and the understanding of another's perspective. This includes the willingness to openly discuss problems as they arise, to share one's feelings and needs with honesty and vulnerability, and to work collaboratively towards finding constructive solutions to the challenges that inevitably arise in any partnership. When communication consistently breaks down and efforts to bridge the divide prove fruitless, it may be necessary to take a step back and reassess the relationship in its entirety. In some cases, seeking the guidance of a skilled professional, such as a couples therapist or counselor, can provide invaluable insights and tools for overcoming the barriers that hinder effective communication. Ultimately, maintaining healthy and open lines of communication is not merely a nicety, but a fundamental necessity for the longevity and well-being of any relationship. This is a critical aspect not only for individual well-being, but also for building the kind of harmonious and enriching relationships that lie at the very heart of Stoic teachings on balance and mutual understanding. 11. Serenity and inner tranquility are the cornerstones of Stoic philosophy, the very essence of what it means to live a fulfilling and balanced life. When we find ourselves entangled in relationships that consistently disrupt our inner peace, it is a resounding alarm bell, a clarion call to carefully examine and, if necessary, reevaluate, or even sever these toxic bonds. Relationships that are a constant source of internal turbulence, whether through incessant conflicts, pervasive anxiety, unrelenting stress, or gnawing insecurity, stand in direct opposition to the Stoic principle of cultivating serenity. Stoic philosophy teaches us to place the highest value on emotional equilibrium, to maintain an unwavering sense of inner calm even in the face of life's most tumultuous storms. A relationship that perpetually undermines this serenity is a formidable obstacle to our personal growth and well-being, trapping us in a chronic state of emotional discomfort that not only erodes our mental health, but also robs us of our ability to fully embrace and enjoy the richness of life. In this context, it is imperative to take a step back and assess the profound impact that our relationships have on our overall well-being. This introspective process involves deep reflection on the emotional toll these connections take on us, whether there exists a pervasive pattern of negativity that defies resolution, and whether our earnest efforts to improve the dynamics of the relationship have been met with consistent failure. The decision to end a relationship, particularly one in which we have invested our hearts and souls, is never an easy one. However, Stoic philosophy encourages us to make choices that align with our well-being and inner peace, even if that means distancing ourselves from relationships that have become detrimental to our tranquility. It is crucial to recognize that seeking serenity is not an act of selfishness, but rather a profound step towards self-preservation and living in accordance with our highest principles. Therefore, when confronted with relationships that persistently disrupt our tranquility, we must summon the courage to make difficult choices, always striving to maintain a state of inner peace and balance. As we reflect on the profound wisdom of Epictetus's words, the first and greatest victory is to conquer oneself. We come to understand that the end of a relationship is not a mark of failure, but rather a courageous step towards authenticity and personal growth. This journey, though fraught with challenges, presents an unparalleled opportunity for self-discovery and the reaffirmation of our most cherished values and principles. Remember that every choice we make, especially those that compel us to walk away from situations that cause us harm, is an act of tremendous courage and profound self-respect. By embracing this Stoic path, we not only safeguard our own well-being, but also open ourselves up to a life of greater virtue, fulfillment, and meaning. Therefore, if you have found value and inspiration in our content, I invite you to subscribe, enable notifications, and become an integral part of our thriving community. This is but the beginning of an extraordinary journey of self-discovery and personal growth, and I am thrilled to share more insights and wisdom with you as we continue our shared quest for a richer, more purposeful existence. Until our paths cross again, may you find the strength to embrace the Stoic way and unlock the boundless potential that lies within you.